Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm going to present about my topic. There should be less violence in children cartoon. Good morning to lecturer and my fellow friend. So today I would like to give a speech about why there should be less violence in children cartoon today. I am confident that everyone is aware of this type of thing. But the real question is what step we have taken to cure or discourage it from being worse for our future generation. So I am trying to convince you that there should be less violence in children cartoon. Therefore, in my speech I would like to persuade people out there about there should be less violence in children cartoon, which my point are children easily emulate what they saw as children, prevent children from unhealthy environment, and not well liked by the neighborhood. For my first for my first main point, I would like to bring the audience attention to our first point, which is children easily emulate what they saw as children. First of all, children is easy to emulate what they saw as children. We all know that children like to mimic or imitate what they see as children. So it's not appropriate to expose them to violence, especially through cartoons that they enjoy watching as children. So we as adults must believe that the cartoons they enjoy are appropriate for them, but we may ignore that the fact that certain cartoons have a violent scene that are not appropriate for children to watch. The children can mimic the scene in their real life environment, which is harmful to their development. Some researchers suggest that cartoons with a high degree of aggression can make children more violent. Their research has discovered the small children mirror the destructive attitude they display on television. The highest level of violence was seen in output targeted at children as young as 7, which include a very variety of cartoons. Children learn about aggression from seeing the behavior of people or objects surrounding them. So, as a parent, it is important to keep the children away from the cartoon that involve harmful aspect of violence, since children are quickly influenced and readily imitate what they see. As I have just said in my first point, which is children easily emulate what they saw as a children, now I will move to the next point, which to prevent children from unhealthy environment. The second reason why there should be less violence in children cartoon is to prevent children from unhealthy environment. If a child is subjected to a violence at an early age, it is not surprising if the child grow up to be a violent person. As a result, the children will be looked down upon by the rest of the society. As a result, we must ensure that this does not occur and discourage it from occurring at a very young age. For example, by prohibiting children from viewing cartoon with a violent element. When a child is exposed to an aspect of violence at a young age, as a result of viewing a violent cartoon, the child become accustomed to it and may behave unexpectedly, such as hitting another children, which is only seen as accidental by the parent, who are unaware that the children has become accustomed to the element of violence that he learned by watching cartoon. This must be stopped before it gets worse. If the child is exposed to violence at a very young age, they may grow up in an abusive atmosphere and is more likely to engage in unhealthy social symptoms such as bullying. Bullying can be avoided and regulated by adults. I have introduced the second point of my speech. Therefore, I will carry on my speech with the third point, which is not well liked by the neighborhood. Lastly, the third point of my speech about there should be less violence in children cartoon is not well liked by the neighborhood. If a boy has been affected by a violent cartoon from a young age, the neighborhood will shun him because other parents did not want their child to be friends with a violent child. They believe their children is in danger in this case. Furthermore, children who are affected by the violence in the cartoon will be ignored by the other children. This made it harder for the kids to make friends at a young age. This is a hazardous condition for the child growth. Thus, if there are children in the community who are affected by violence, this may trigger some dissatisfaction among residents and strain the long-standing relationship. We have covered most of the point that why there should be less violence in children cartoon. I hope that will change some of your point of view about my speech. I have justified three important points, which are children are easily to emulate what they saw as a children, prevent children from unhealthy environment, and not well liked by the neighborhood. Also, we can all get some lesson from my speech and from this quote that I get from Mahatma Gandhi, which he said that I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary, but the evil it does is permanent. Thank you.